Okay, good morning, everyone. I am here. My name's Annie Larson. I'm here to present to you another Tuesday tip. Just a reminder of who we are. We are Jordan School District's Health and Wellness Team. We are an interdisciplinary team dedicated to improving wellness for students, families, educators alike. We do weekly Tuesday tips, more like every other week at this point. But we also have a website, wellness.jordandistrict.org. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, we would love to hear from you. Okay, so let's get started. Today, we are going to talk about DEARMAN, which is an interpersonal effectiveness skill, and it's how to ask for what you need and say no to what you don't. So interpersonal effectiveness, as we all know, it's one of the most important skills we seek for our children and ourselves, to be able to assert themselves in asking for what they need and saying no to what they don't. We want our children to have these skills to communicate with others and navigate their environment. So this little picture on the side is just, kind of a depiction of this tree growing through the rock. Life is filled with obstacles. We're all trying to navigate our way around it. And so the more skills we can have in our toolbox, of course, the easier it's going to be. So DEARMAN is an acronym, just to remember the steps of this interpersonal skill process. The first one is describe. So when we are engaging with someone else to ask for something we want or to set a boundary, first thing we're going to do is describe the situation objectively. This means sticking to the facts. Avoid opinion, avoid interpretation. The goal is that everyone's on the same page, that everyone starts with a set of facts that we can all agree on. Next, we're going to make sure we express to others how the situation makes us feel. So don't expect anyone to read your mind. Try using the line, I feel blank because blank. I feel overwhelmed because I have so much homework to do. I feel overwhelmed because there's a lot going on in the world right now, maybe. But remember that other people can't read your mind. So we often create a lot of conflict simply because we're not on the same page. So make sure that in expressing, after you describe the situation, that you also indicate kind of why you see things the way you do. Next is assert. So we don't want to beat around the bush when we're trying to communicate with other people, when we're asking for something or setting a boundary. Don't say, oh, I don't know if I can cook tonight. Do say, I won't be able to cook tonight because I'm working late. Simply ask for what you want or set a boundary to say no. This little picture on the side I thought was pretty cute because we all know the giving tree, where the tree gives and gives and gives until it is a stump. And the tree is happy in that situation. But also, we could look at it, this little depiction of the tree said, no, it's time we set some boundaries. And the tree was happy. So just a reminder, and that it's not easy always to say no or to ask for what we want. And that's why having this skill can really, really help out, really give us a framework for doing so. Of course, we want to reinforce. So reward people who respond well and reinforce why your desired outcome is positive. So this can be as simple as saying thank you, smiling, patting someone on the back. But when we're thinking about asking for something or setting a boundary, it can be very helpful to make sure the other person knows what they get out of the deal, right? Why this is, even if it is they just get a smile from you or a thank you, that this engagement is reinforcing to them. This one I think is essential. So this is the M of DEARMAN, being mindful and staying mindful. So do not forget the objective of the interaction. It can be easy to get sidetracked into harmful arguments or lose focus. So we know often when we're asking for something or setting a boundary, especially as we're starting to practice this skill, our emotion can go up. We can get a little nervous. And in these interactions, it's very easy to be kind of triggered by a similar situation in the past. So all of us have probably been in a discussion with someone, an argument at times, and suddenly we're talking about something that happened 3 weeks ago. Because it's similar, you always come home late. You always, So that's not going to be helpful. We want to remember when we're using this skill that what was the objective we started with? What is our desired outcome? And I'm just going to stick to that. If I want to talk about 3 weeks ago, then I start that as a different conversation. This conversation, we just have kind of this sole focus of asserting in whatever area, asking for whatever we're asking for, or saying no to one specific thing. So of course, you need to appear confident, right? When you engage in this conversation, make sure your shoulders are back. You're making eye contact. You're using a neutral but firm, loud enough tone that people can hear you and see you. Often when we try skills, we kind of aren't confident. And if someone asks you for something and they're kind of wishy-washy, you're less likely to comply. So make sure when you engage in this that you give yourself time to practice and appear confident and fake it if you've got to, because it will come naturally as time goes on. And then the last of DEARMAN is that no one ever gets everything they want out of an interaction. So you're not going to get everything you want all the time. Be open to negotiation. Do say, if you wash the dishes, I'll put them away. So knowing that and going into this conversation, you're going to want to do things like create an outline, go through DEARMAN and put points of what you kind of want to say on each of the 7 kind of pieces of the tool. This way we can go into it more confident, we appear more confident, but also we know, what am I willing to give up to get this? What am I willing to negotiate? So you're not having to do that in the moment and then be disappointed because you offered too much to get something. Another great strategy is to role play. So create your outline and then pick someone you trust and say, hey, I just want to run this by you. This is an important conversation for me and I want it to go well. Can you help me out? And then lastly, remember, it takes time. It takes time to learn new skills. We have to practice them. They're awkward at first, but this is a great skill. And I think anything we can give our kids and ourselves to be able to navigate our world more effectively is wonderful. So hopefully that is helpful. And I appreciate you guys taking the time. Remember that we are at wellness.jordandistrict.org. We would love your feedback. We would love your ideas, and we appreciate you. Thanks so much. See you next time.